Here we are again, another Friday and another reading update from me. This week I've managed to finish one book. It was an easy 5 stars and I absolutely loved it. Good morning and welcome back to another reading update from me. This week, like I said, I finished one book. It was 5 stars and I absolutely loved it. It was from an author that I've recently been talking a lot about. I have taken it upon myself to order all the books that she has released so far. So this is one of the first books from that selection of books that I have decided to read. And I'm so glad that I started with this one because it was just so good. So the author that I'm talking about is Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I decided to pick up One True Loves, and I'm so glad that I started with this one. It was really good. In this one, we're following our two main characters, Emma and Jessie. They fell in love quite early on. They are just teenagers when they meet and they fall in love and they get married. And they just want to travel the world. That's all that they want. Emma wants to get out of her hometown and Jessie certainly does as well. He has a lot of pressure from his family because he's a very good swimmer. He is captain of the swim team. So his parents are sort of pushing on him to pursue a career in swimming, but he doesn't necessarily want to do that. So in a way, they are a perfect match because they can just go off and travel to the point where they decide to get jobs that sort of introduces that. I think Emma gets a job as a travel journalist, so of course that takes her wherever she wants to go. They get married and 1 year later is their wedding anniversary and Jessie is called to a job that he needs to go to, and unfortunately when he's on his way there on a helicopter there is an accident and the helicopter goes down into the ocean. Jessie isn't found, he is presumed dead, so we are following Emma's sort of journey through grief. A couple of years later, she does move on and she does end up getting engaged to somebody else. But when she is at a dinner party with her family and her new fiance, she gets a phone call and it is none other than Jessie. He is ringing to say that he is alive and that he is coming home for her. So the first sort of part of this book, we are straight in with the story. We are following Emma as a teenager, and I really enjoyed the pages where she is a teenager because she is sort of talking about the same sort of things that I was going through when I was her age. I felt a lot of nostalgia while reading the first part of this book, just from the sort of films that she was talking about, TV shows and music and things like that. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well. I also really enjoyed the way that her and Jessie met. We do have another character that she is kind of involved with, I guess, Sam. He works at her parents' bookstore. I also really enjoy that aspect of the book because I love books that are about bookstores. He is interested in Emma, but unfortunately she's just not that interested because she does have a crush on Jessie. So, eventually her and Jessie end up together and we move on to, I think they're like 25, when they get together or they get engaged, or I can't remember whether they're 25 when they get married, something like that. So they are obviously a little bit older. We don't go too much into the travelling aspect. We get like glimpses of where they've been and what they've done, but it doesn't really focus heavily on that. We then, of course, go through the tragic accident that Jessie has. I found this bit very emotional. It was very difficult to read at times because going through Emma's grief was just so difficult, but the way that the author wrote it was incredible. We quickly switched from it's all written in first person, so we obviously get the I's and me's and all that and the other, but when Emma is struggling with her grief, the whole, I think it's like 2 or 3 chapters, Emma she's referring herself as if she is somebody else, so it's like she is out of her body. So she's using a lot of words. So like she's like, you get up in the morning, you try and get dressed, you try and make it outside, you try and go for a walk, you try and get out of bed. So there's a lot of that sort of language within here. And I found that really, really good because I can imagine going through that sort of grief, you kind of would be out of your own body. You've lost your husband, the love of your life, someone you've been with for years, and then you're just suddenly alone. So yeah, that aspect of it was just so good and it kept me so gripped. We move on to a couple of years and she bumps into Sam, who used to work at the bookstore. They start dating and they have a wonderful relationship and they do get engaged, of course. I think it's like 7 weeks or so later, she does get her phone call from Jesse saying that he is alive and that he's coming home. We don't get too many details of how he managed to survive because, of course, the helicopter went down in water, but we do know that he is a very good swimmer. And basically, we are then going through Emma having to make a decision. Of course, she wants to go see Jesse, but she's so in love with Sam at this point. And Sam is amazing. I loved Sam's character so much. He's just so sweet. And, you know, Emma has gone through a lot of changes since Jesse has been gone. You know, she's gone back home. Even though she said she never wanted to stay in her hometown, she's back home. She's running the bookstore. You know, she's changed her hair. She's went from having really luscious long hair to having a short pixie cut. And she just loves being with her sister. Her and her sister didn't have the best relationship to start with when they were younger, but now they have such a good relationship. She's got her nieces. And she's just happy staying where she is. So, of course, when Jesse comes back, she has changed so much. They don't necessarily know each other, but he kind of still sees her the way that she was 4 years ago, and which is understandable, of course. But yeah, it's definitely such a good read, and when obviously she does have a decision to make. She needs to decide whether she wants to be with Jesse. They are technically still married, or does she want to stay with Sam, who she has, you know, built a whole new life with. Sam is so understanding. I was thinking to myself the other day when I was reading this one, I'm married, so, you know, I don't know how you would even make a decision like this. You know, she's built this whole new life, but she's still got her life from her past that of course she wants back. Of course she wants Jesse back. So following her journey of obviously making these decisions, it's just so tough. And to be fair, you don't kind of get any inkling on which way this is going to go. I certainly wasn't sure who she was going to pick until I got to the last, you know, 20 pages or so. But I loved it. I'm so glad that I read this one first, and I just can't wait to read more from this author. So there you have it. That is the one book that I've managed to finish this week. I have already started another book. It is a book from one of the books that I want to reread again. I did post a video not long ago about all the books on my shelf that I absolutely love and that I definitely want to reread. So I have jumped in with Empire of the Vampire. This is one of my favourite books of all time. Gabriel is probably one of my favourite male characters as well. I am only 35 pages in and I'm already so in love with this book again, and I just cannot wait to read more. It is going to take me a while to get through this one because with the Easter holidays coming up and things like that, I think with the children being off, I'm definitely not going to have as much time to read, but I don't mind that because of course I already know what's going to happen with this one. And yeah, I just can't wait to read more and I just love it. It's great. That's it from me this week. I will be back soon with another video, so I will see you guys then. Bye.